Hi, I'm Suky from Professional Selection. Today I'd like to talk about something that I'm constantly reading on social media platforms, LinkedIn and so forth, about how pushy and aggressive salespeople recruiters actually are. I find that really interesting because by its very definition, sales, we're handling objections. Doesn't matter whether we're in the recruitment industry or we're selling tables, pens, software, doesn't matter. You got to know your product, and there is a simple art of sales. Something I read quite a bit is how recruiters will send out generic emails without really having looked at an individual's profile to see the skill set relevance and so forth. Yeah, I'll give you that one. There's no excuse for that. There's no need for that. If you're just mass mailing anybody that has a certain search word in their CV, you deserve everything you get. So as a recruiter, if you're doing that, stop it. That does nobody any good. Now, however, if you've sent somebody an email and their skill set is not quite right, so for example, it might be a job that they'd done 2 years ago, it's interesting because a lot of people get offended saying, I'm way past that. But as a candidate, I encourage you to possibly entertain that call or entertaining learning more about that role. I'll tell you for why. There are so many jobs, and we simply, in the jobs and the growth and the vision of the hiring company, simply can't put it all on email. So that might be something worth having a conversation about, because you never know where that company is planning on going. Could be exactly what you're looking for in your next role. So I would encourage you to have that conversation. When it comes to some of the other comments I hear is, oh, the recruiter pushed me into having that interview, pushed me into talking to that particular company. I didn't like it. Well, hey, we're adults. Say no. It's literally as simple as that. And give the recruiter your reason. Now, what I would say, and I'll do that, if I believe that a candidate really should be talking with this company, because based on my conversation with the candidate, what they're looking for and the company and so forth, I believe it's a match. I will often say to the candidate, trust me, this once, have this conversation. 20 minutes, half an hour of your time in the overall scheme of things is not a long time. However, once you've spoken to the company, it could change your opinion. We have, and I'm sure all recruiters have stories like this, and candidates do, where they were encouraged to have that initial call that they were reluctant to, subsequently they go on to joining that company. To me, that's not aggressive sales. To me, that is a recruiter doing what they're meant to do, helping candidates find the right company and helping employers find the right candidates. Of course, same goes with employers. We often hear about employers talking about how the recruiter was pushing them to see a candidate and it didn't fit the brief that they'd given, because guess what? They wanted 10 must-haves and the candidate only had 8 must-haves. Again, we're dealing with human beings, right? So I don't see that as aggressive. Talk to your recruiter. If your recruiter is partnering with you and they've spoken to a candidate that they think you should be speaking to, as an employer, you owe it to your company. As the hiring manager or the recruiter, you owe it to your company to speak to that candidate. Anyway, I'm sure there's a million other examples there of what people class as aggressive sales. Would love to hear your opinion. Feel free to leave your comments below. Thanks for listening.